Good morning, Big Brother fans, and a happy July 5th. I did do a car cast, well, not in my car yesterday. For those of you that missed it, you may want to go back and listen. I don't know how long this one's going to be. I don't have a lot to add to what I talked about yesterday. There was, oh Lord, here we go again. So, here's the dilemma. Jack got a scolding yesterday. I don't even remember if I talked about it on my thing yesterday, but there were several things Jack said yesterday, and we're talking about starting in the wee hours of the morning. So at like 2 a.m., Jack is complaining to, I think this is all yesterday. Yeah, Jack is complaining to Holly and Annalise and Jack. And he is just so mad at David. He is so focused on being mad and pissed off at David. And he's been going on his rants. He's been talking about, I want this guy, I want him out of here. He should just head back and take his book. He's really obsessed about this book about how to be a leader that David had apparently had in finals. But he says he wants to mule kick him in the teeth. Okay, and Jack immediately said, hey, you really can't say that. That's a threat. He said, that wasn't a threat. And I mean, it's a guy talking about doing physical stuff, and you can't do that in the house. That's just the rule. I want to kill him. They'll let you probably get away with, I want to kill him, set out of frustration. But when you talk about, I want to, gut punch him and do this and that, and now you get called on it. But that was the first thing he did that I can think of yesterday. Then about 20 minutes later in the shower, he's up in the shower, taking a shower by himself, but Kat followed him into the bathroom, and she's talking to him, and he can't really hear her. And suddenly the next thing, the camera cuts for about a minute or 30 seconds or something. When it comes back, Kat's in the shower with him. Now, Kat's fully clothed, but he couldn't hear her, so he's in the shower, and she's in there with him talking to him. And he's bitching about, she was like giving him like scouting reports on what David had been saying, because she'd been talking to David. And so he's again really ticked off about David, and he's like, and he said this several times. I sent you in there. You couldn't even beat, Cliff and Jess, and he said. Now, this is where it confused somebody, or at least a couple of people, because someone DM'd me about it and asked me, and that's actually why I went and found it. He said, you can go back to Mexico with your book, or take a walk in traffic and go back to Mexico to the sequester house with your book. So I guess the sequester house may be in Mexico. Maybe he heard that, which is possible. It's been there before. Or a sequester house, wherever he was. But the fact that he said Jess and go back to your sequester house, or go back to Mexico, someone thought he was saying Jess, go back to Mexico. But that isn't what he said. It's how the words rolled out, that if you weren't paying close attention, you might think that, but he really didn't say that. He was saying that David got beat by Jess, and that he could go walk in traffic and go walk back, or go back to Mexico, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that was, all right. He's still really ticked off and honked off about David, but he didn't say what, some people were starting to say he said. Next thing, I think it was the next thing, it was in the morning, or in the early morning, or right after noon or something. He's in the kitchen, and there's a bunch of people in the kitchen. He's walking around, and he's talking to Jack, all right? And he's going back and forth, and he's telling Jack how he's going to just play psychological mind games with him. He's going to lead, like he's going to beat him. He says he plays chess instead of checkers. Well, I'll beat him at chess, and I'm going to leave dirty dishes in the sink, and something about peeing. I'm not sure. And then really quietly, half under his breath, he drops and calls. It sounds like he refers to David using the N-word. Kind of, this is where you get into those instances of, if Jackson was black, he could have said it, but Jackson's not black, so he can't say it. Talking about David. I don't think it was a disparaging, it was more street talk. This is my take on it. I know I'm going to get yelled at for this, but I'm just trying to explain it as best I can, how Jackson said it. That was my interpretation. I don't have the exact timestamp with me. It's been posted out there. Somebody's saying, like, what is at the time? Will this say, I heard you? If you want to tweet at me and say, I heard your CarCast, can you give me the rough time and I'll go watch for myself? I will look it up. But I don't want to turn into the, timestamp reporter for all these. I get asked so many questions. I get people, when did he say this, or what did they say this? And I start to get overwhelmed, and I get discouraged because I'll get asked the same question 30 times, and I feel if I don't answer it, I'm ignoring the person. But at the same time, it's like, go look, it's out there, you can find it. But if you, my faithful CarCast listeners, want to know a time, ping me, not DM me, but just ask me and say, I listened to the CarCast, can you give me the time? And I will look it up, and I will give it to you, but I ain't doing it for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that asks the question, all right? So, I didn't know, I was unaware at the time that this happened until late last night. And so, because I actually got messaged by somebody, and someone said this, that he dropped the N-bomb sometime around this time. And I went to it, and I listened to it, and I didn't hear it. I listened to it as close. I listened to it 2 or 3 times. Like, I listened to it for 5 minutes, for a 5-minute time period. I didn't hear it say anything in there. But then right before I went to bed, someone has made a video clip where they play, a longer segment of David talking to, or Jackson talking to Jack, and then they isolate just the one little part where they think he said the N-word, and it sure sounds like it to me. So I'm not going to try to argue that point. In the context, at the timing, it would make sense if that's the word he said, but it was very low and very kind of, he was talking like this, and he wasn't facing the camera. He wasn't. It just, there's lots of people that can probably try to argue that that's not what he said, but I can't. I can't. I really, in all good conscience, am not going to try to say he didn't say it. So this all happened, but I was not aware of it. At the time I did the CarCast yesterday, and then David, I knew about. I keep saying David Jackson. I knew about the kicking in the teeth thing, and Jackson gets called in the DR, and he comes out, and he's basically, people say he's crying. I kind of say crying, but he's kind of like upset. He can tell he's upset. He's like, oh shit, he knows. Now, I thought it was for the teeth kicking, but I do think that they said, you said that, you can't say that. And I think he kind of went into a bit of a panic mode, like, oh crap, now my potential career could be ruined. I'm guessing that's what he's thinking. And so, anyways, he was upset for a good portion of the rest of the day. Other than that, I already talked about most of everything else. I mean, about how the Nightmare Powers shook out. They haven't done anything. They did announce, I think I said that. I think they announced they aren't doing anything. Yeah, they did announce they're not doing anything. They had a pizza party last night. They did do that. They were out in the backyard, and there was a drone. Okay, I'm gonna show my ignorance here, because I did do a little recap. I said, here's what all happened. Jackson said some really stupid things. Jackson got in trouble. They had a pizza party. There was a drone. They just heard the drone and they went inside. There was nothing like, oh, we learned some news or something. It just, somebody must have been flying a drone around. But there was also an airplane, a Skywriter, and it wrote Prime Zebra. And people are telling me I have to talk about this like it was a thing. I Googled Prime Zebra. I have no idea what the hell Prime Zebra means. Okay? I don't understand it. I tried, and I'm feeling dumb. And someone's going to explain it to me, and I go, oh, but yeah, this is where I don't know what the hell prime zebra means. So you are welcome someone to tell me what I'm missing here, and then I can feel stupid, or I can feel old, or both. But let me know. Other than that, I don't know, not much. I mean, it's not enough. We'll talk about it, or some of it, on tomorrow night's show. We do have a podcast tomorrow night. Let's see, podcast tomorrow night. Oh, I spaced it. Oh, they'll probably do the next Wackity Comp today. I'm assuming. Get it done before nominations. They did it before nominations, before Ovi was nominated, or before they did it before regular nominations, right? The first nominations, Christie's nominations, so they should do it before Jack's nominations. That's what I'm thinking. And then they'll do nominations. They should do that today. It should be a quote, regular week. It should be Whack Comp today, nominations tonight, Power Veto competition tomorrow, and then Power Veto ceremony likely on Monday, possibly on Sunday. And then the final scurrying and an eviction on Thursday. What else? Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can think of. Eviction on Thursday. No, can't think of anything else. It has been interesting. There's still no have-nots. There's another thing. Still no have-nots. That's a good thing. I'm all right with this. And no, the Camp Wannabe, I'm calling it Camp Wannabe, whatever the hell it is, the want to battle back people, the people that want to back in the house, camp evicted but not gone. It is introducing a twist because it is forcing, they're right there. You can't blindside somebody. Maybe I said this yesterday. They're not going to be able to blindside somebody amazingly. Like they were talking about going after Nick. They're not going to go after Nick. Because Nick will be around for a whole nother week to get in people's ears. And David is definitely getting in people's ears. David is walking around going, you don't want this to be another L6. You guys don't want to be, you guys got to be aware before, don't be fooled. And make sure, you're aware of who's in the house and what's going on, and don't all get walked out the door one by one until you realize it's too late. So, that's interesting, right? It's a different twist that the person who's is observer has nothing to lose. I mean, David has absolutely nothing to lose other than to say, well, I guess when I come back in, I may have made enemies, but hey, he's already been out once. So that's it. All right, I am at work. I'll talk to you guys later, maybe, or maybe I won't talk to you until Monday. We'll have to see. All right, I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being supporters. Those of you that support me at the Patreon for either the Big Brother Gossip Show or my Big Brother Gossip Carcast, which is this thing. And if you want to be a patron, by all means, go to patreon.com, search for Big Brother Gossip, and I think you'll find both shows linked there. And you can do either or none or both, whichever you'd like to do. I do appreciate it. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.